Andrew Gormley is an associate professor of art in ShanghaiTech, and he's also a stand-up comedian, which made me curious about him. Today, I'll meet him in his classroom. What it'll be like? Let's check out.
Hi, everybody. My name's Andrew Gormley. I am an educator. I teach illustration, art, animation here at SCA, which is a School of Entertainment Design at ShanghaiTech. I think the people who do animation, they have two skills. They can draw and they can do funny voices. I could do that when I was young. And so my parents, they said, well, maybe you should do animation. So 2 years after I graduated, I moved to Hollywood.
Is it difficult to find a job in Hollywood?
Well, the hardest part is convincing your mother and father. So after I got to Los Angeles, I started to take more classes so that I could be more competitive. And I was the only artist in the class who could explain to other people what the teacher wanted us to do.
Like the assistant professor?
I became the assistant teacher, actually, for their program. Yeah, I love the classroom. When people are learning and they go, wow, I understand, and you see them, you've given them understanding. It's a wonderful feeling. And so that would have been 2002, 2003, and I've been teaching ever since. I came to China because the film industry, the animation industry is beginning here. So when they said, do you want to help train people in China? I said, yeah, that would be really cool to be part of it. Because artists actually, they love to be the best. And so an artist they don't get good and then stop. They get good and then they go at night and they take a new class, software or color or photography. They just have to keep growing. It's how they stay alive.
So when you were teaching in the ShanghaiTech University, during your interaction with the students, how do you find the young filmmakers, the future filmmakers in China? Do you like their performance?
So the funny thing is, we would start every class and I would say, draw what you did this weekend. Do a little story. Oh, I went to, Shijiahui, or I went with my friends to get noodles. And they told me after, they said, Professor, no one does that in our classes. This is the first class where we actually know something about each other's lives. Stories are as important as food. We need that. Those interactions are so important.
Where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the skies are not cloudy all day. Home, home on
A teacher, animation writer, a stand-up comedian, as a versatile person, Andrew even can make guitar and play with it. Here
Where
goes the music.
seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the skies are not cloudy all day.
And any project that you've been working on since you moved to Shanghai?
Yes, yeah. So as you know, I do hosting comedy and I tell funny stories. And when I first came to Shanghai, I thought this might be a good time to go do more stories, tell more stories. And so after 2 or 3 performances at the very beginning, I was looking at the audience and I could see these are young people and they're lonely because they're in a big city. They don't have their family. And so I started to tell stories about love and falling in love and love being really difficult. Like, love is really hard. And they loved it. They loved it. And I realized that's what my stories are about.
Okay, so what's the most unforgettable experience that you take in this venture in China or in ShanghaiTech University?
Shanghai is a really international city. So I think it's a beautiful city for artists, because not just the buildings, the architecture, the culture, but different people. It's wonderful that all these different cultures are here, and you make friends with all these different people. So when you come here, the people are lovely. You have to meet people in the heart. You really have to know them in the heart. You can't listen to outside opinions. You have to really. I had to come here and learn the language and meet the people. So I think that's what's really wonderful about living in Shanghai, is this every part of the world is here.
After the interview, Andrew told me that he will get married with his girlfriend next month. So let's wish him a happy married life, and I'm looking forward more great stories from the storyteller.